Hey, welcome to day 150 of reading the entire Bible one day at a time. We're going to get through the whole thing this year, so let's get to it. Today is Psalm 119, and that's it because it's extremely long. It's 176 verses. Why, you might ask? Well, it's arranged as an acrostic, like a few of the Psalms that we've read recently, but this one is kind of a unique and super stretched out version of that. Each letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and there are 22 of those, gets 8 verses or 8 lines that start with that letter. And so the psalmist got all the way through the whole alphabet, coming up with 8 lines that ring out the whole thing. There's a couple of structural pieces that are interesting to know about this, but overall it kind of reads like a wisdom psalm. There are some kind of lament stylings to it, as far as, the pain of suffering under persecution and longing for the presence of the Lord. But in general, it portrays this is what happens when you follow the ways of Yahweh, and this is what happens when you don't. And so in that way, it presenting those two paths, ways of wisdom, following the Lord, and foolishness, not following him. One leads to righteousness and blessing, one leads to destruction. And so that's where the psalm starts, kind of like Psalm 1 opening up the entire Psalter, as well as a bunch of other psalms kind of introduce different pieces. This one's going to have an opening section under the letter Aleph that starts with, "Blessed are those whose way is blameless, who walk in the law of the Lord. Blessed are those who keep his testimonies and who seek him with their whole heart." And when you start that off, it kind of feels like Psalm 1. And so it feels like a bit of an introduction, like almost like this is sort of an anchoring or central piece, even though it doesn't fall right in the middle of the Psalms. But it gives it a little bit of a, hey, here's a whole standalone mini Psalter, a mini Psalm book just in this one enormous Psalm. And so what I want to encourage you today is, as you read through it, just take your time and take them one letter chunk at a time. If they're not already separated in your Bible, like the one I'm looking at here has the title of each letter above it, and I believe they all should, but just in case, just take it 8 verses at a time and meditate on it slowly and give it a chance to just soak in. Let it become your prayer for today and see where that gets you. And so to kick things off, I want to go through the first 8 verses here because I just love where that puts us and the posture that gives us to start our day and also to start through the reading of the rest of this psalm. "Blessed are those whose way is blameless, who walk in the law of the Lord. Blessed are those who keep his testimonies, who seek him with their whole heart, who also do no wrong, but walk in his ways. You have commanded your precepts to be kept diligently. Oh, that my ways may be steadfast in keeping your statutes. Then I shall not be put to shame, having my eyes fixed on all your commandments. I will praise you with an upright heart. When I learn your righteous rules, I will keep your statutes. Do not utterly forsake me." So let's lean in, discover, and embrace the ways of the Lord, and let that lead us. Let his Spirit fill us, bring life to this word, and lead us into the way that we should live according to him. I'd love to hear what thoughts, questions, and insights you have as you read through this. So let's get into that in the comments. Be rad for Jesus.